online, remember, at the end of the day, it is a business. And so that process is one where we operationalizing, we're bringing our administration, our marketing, our skills, our products, and we're making it available to our customer base through digital platforms.
Okay, okay. Um, that sounds, very much concise. And now, what is the main challenge people face when starting a online business?
I want to take it from this perspective. And I want to start by encouraging us to consider that challenge is a factor of perception. And I'll tell you a quick story why I say that. In 2009, my dad fell ill. And around the time he fell ill was that time where I was between jobs. I had everything that I wanted, but I didn't have personal satisfaction. So I had resigned from my former job maybe in July. And I'm like, okay, let me figure out what's this thing I feel on the inside to step into the next job. That was the intention. And by August, my dad started getting ill. By October, he was hospitalized. And it dawned on me in that moment that I was not in any position to take care of my parents. Granted, side note, I am an quote unquote only child. So I did not have the help of siblings or anybody to come together. My mom was a homemaker. My dad was the only breadwinner. I am between jobs and savings are being depleted. And by December, I said, boy, this is not working. And, I sat and I thought about it, Mr. Butcher. And I said, I thought about all of the education, the qualifications, the experience, the titles, and none of it in that moment was working together to give me the life that I wanted. And by December, I say, you know what? When I have these interviews, everybody loved me so much. Oh my God, Alina, you're the best. And they go through your resume and it's so good. And I said to myself, if I am so good, I could do this for myself. And by January 1st, my first business was launched. And the reason I tell that story is because look at the circumstances, and I mentioned savings were being depleted. So by the time my business was getting ready to start, I had exhausted my savings. My family had exhausted savings behind the medical bills and everything associated with making sure my dad was cared for. And so, based on traditional perception, I had nothing needed to be able to start a business. Everything should have been a challenge. But I am saying here today, challenge can easily be a factor of perception, because while I did not have capital, I did not at that time have coaching and mentorship or any other factors that we traditionally would say is needed. What I did have is no fear and willingness to be creative. And so when we start thinking about the main challenges associated with starting a business, I want to encourage persons to redefine what they consider to be a challenge. Because I'll tell you, if I went into starting that business from the perspective of, oh my gosh, I don't have this, I don't have that, I would have never started. I would have gone there and taken one of the job offers that I knew I would not have wanted because I am challenged. But when we could look at our skills and believe that we have something to offer, and then get creative about how we could use what we have to get what we want, it changes the paradigm of how we perceive a challenge. And it causes us to posture ourselves differently to experience levels of success each day as we create benchmarks to get from one stage to another in causing that concept to evolve. So while in 2009, I had this one idea for harnessing my skills to launch a business, that one idea that I started in, let's say, 2010, when the first business was originally registered, that one idea has turned now into 4 businesses in 2021. And at every stage is because we're looking at how we could harness what we have to get what we want and leverage our relationships to build the team to support the effort moving forward. So while we could sit here and pick equipment, capital, skills, qualification. We could go on and on about all the many challenges we could face. I want to encourage us to not be so focused on what we think could be a challenge, but be more focused on what is your goal and how you could get there using the resources that are at hand and the network and the team you could make available to build you up and support you as a foundation.
Wow. Yeah, I love the story that you gave, right? Sorry about your dad there. But, you know, it's really what really drives individuals to really have to get up in the morning, do what they have to do, whether it is they like it or not. So what is the questions you would generally ask when it is that they are trying to
Sorry, your
their
line
life?
broke just a tad bit. You said, what are the questions?
Yeah, what are the major questions people ask you when it is they want to start their own business? What are the major questions that they ask?
One of the big things I hear all the time is, I don't know if I could do this. And that comes from a range of things. And for most people, it starts off as fear. We're afraid of stepping out. We're afraid of failure. So we don't know if we could do it. So here it is. We're not looking at the tangible resources around us, but we're looking at the internal fortitude. So whether we're starting a traditional business or an online business, for instance, when I do business coaching with persons, I tend to encourage them, and I always start the journey in looking at the concept of self. I truly believe that businesses, especially for micro entrepreneurs and even SMEs, in many instances, businesses are an extension of something that's happening on the inside. It's an extension of a vision that you have, a passion that you have, your personality, something that you're really invested in, you're interested in, that causes you to say, I want to do this. Granted, yes, there are some opportunities that come that are just great for making money, and we put our investment in, and that's good too, yeah? But in many cases, it starts on the inside and having that belief that this is worth something, that this is worth being offered. So in many instances, when people come in and we have those conversations, a lot of times it starts off as, can I do this? And once we have those conversations to unearth the passion or the vision that is on the inside, then we need to start looking at some of the logistical things. For example, when you look at what you want to achieve and you look at your starting resources, and you would hear me, Mr. Butcher, using the word resources and not necessarily money, because not always do we need cash to get to where we want to go. There are many ways we could conjure and pull together those resources, whether it's through leveraging support, whether it's through cash investments, networking, using existing personal resources that you want to convert into business resources. There are many ways we could get the journey started, but however it happens, we want to take a look at what are the resources, what do we want to achieve, and what is really important that so many people take for granted, as you would know, is that whole idea of planning. Because so many times we skip the process of planning, either because we're so excited or maybe because we really haven't been exposed. But that concept of planning, whether you have a formal business plan, as entrepreneurs would know it to be, or whether it's just you starting your journey, doing the best that you can and jotting things down, that planning process is really important. Because once we get into our planning to identify who I am now as a business entity, what am I trying to achieve, what am I making available, what are the channels that I'm going to use to do so, it makes a difference in being able to position ourselves for success.
Yes. I talk about fear. So, and I just want to say in starting this program, yeah, program. Did you hear me? Clearly?
It's cracking a little bit, but I'm hearing you. Thank you.
Okay. So in starting this program, there there's been always challenges. There's always challenges. And sometimes there's the fear of how will you be received by the people around you when you start these programs, especially when you put yourself out there for the whole world to basically criticize you, and say all kind of negative things about you.
Mhm.
But it is, as you said, that if it is that it's something within you, then you need to get it out. What
Yes.
what do you do when it is that you're getting criticized and people just don't see your vision? What do you do to keep yourself motivated so that you can take the next step closer towards realizing your? And what would you advise for individuals who are getting criticized
I
in the
will,
process?
yes, I'll tell you the truth. I had to have a conversation with me because I would tell you, I hid for a lot of years. I'll be honest. I hid for a lot of years.
Did
Just I hid, yeah. A lot of the things that I do, John Public would not know I was behind it. I hid for a lot of years. I would hide behind my office. I would always have my office staff at the forefront. I would always have another colleague at the forefront, and I would just be unknown. My name would not appear because of that fear. So I understand the concept of fear. I hid for a long time. So I did the work. I just didn't let my face and my name be seen because sometimes, especially in an age of social media, it could be so frightening. Oh my God, what would people say? What if somebody just jumps out and says something horrible? Guess what? If they want to say it, they're going to say it anyway. But I had a conversation with me, I can tell you that. And the conversation with me was I had to come to terms with the fact that I have a voice to share. And of course, I'm not talking about a literal voice here, but I chose to accept it. I have a unique view. I have skills. I have passion. For how long am I going to sit and hide behind the nervousness of what if someone says something mean? Guess what? They're probably going to say something mean, but that cannot be my deterrent to suffocate and smother myself by not releasing the thing on the inside. So, for me and for so many others, what happens is that it becomes more important to get the work done and to speak out and to share the skill than it is to sit feeling nervous. What if people don't receive me? Now, granted, I will say there's a place for sharpening skills because you don't want to say, oh, I have a skill, I have a product, I have a voice, I'm going to just put me out there, but you don't put any work into preparing yourself for what you're about to step into. So, for instance, when I was about to step into digital programming in another level, the first thing I did was not go online and put the camera on. That was not the first thing. The first thing I did is recognize I need training. So I went online, I started doing my research to understand how do I position myself to create a quality product. So that way, when I put it out and that quality product is now combined with my experience, my knowledge, my skills, it can be well received. So that way, it's now my responsibility to ensure that if someone says, I don't like what she has to say, it's not because I did a crappy job. It's just because they probably just didn't vibe with me. And that's okay. Everyone wouldn't vibe with me. There is somebody for everybody. I may not be the person for John or Jane, but I might be for 25 other people in that particular setting, and that is okay. And so I had to come to terms with that. And once I came to terms that I had something to share, and what I have to share is of value, I position myself to learn, sharpen my skills. So when I put it out there, I could be proud of my work, and that's important.
And I say that's really the essence of it. Being willing to put yourself out there.
Yes.
Now, people generally use the word voice, and
Mhm.
a lot of people might be hearing this, but not sure what really are you talking about when you say voice, because you're not just speaking about when you open your mouth and things just words just come out. It's something more
Yes.
that I think.
Yes, of
Uh,
course.
Quickly, what is it you mean when you say voice?
My voice refers to the value that I have to share with my audience and how I package that value. So, for instance, part of the representation of my voice is I do educational series videos because part of the value that I bring, I support parents in understanding how they could better help their children at home. So, when I launched my book, the Excellence Journal, I also launched a parenting program and a video series. So that way, every week there's a video that is released where I teach parents and share with parents little like 4 to 5 minute videos on how they could better support their kids at home, whether nutrition, study skills, or otherwise. That is part of my voice, the value that I bring to my audience. Or for instance, I understand that entrepreneurs and professionals need an opportunity to network. So I created something called a book club conversation series where we come online and we have these conversations about what we pulled out of the book, what we understood. That's part of my contribution or the value that I make to that space. That's part of my voice, the value that I bring. Or just last week, I launched something called the Saturday Showcase Morning Show that's being streamed exclusively on LinkedIn. And in this show, it's for professionals, by professionals, as we highlight B2B opportunities where whether entrepreneurs or professionals, they get to share about what they have going on and help other professionals understand how they could either access the service or partner with them in providing that service. That's part of my voice. It's about understanding what is the value that I bring to my audience and how am I going to package that to share it so they could benefit from this understanding, this knowledge, or the skill that I have.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. Now, I'm seeing that there's a Ronald Anthony and there's a M. Trotman. If it is that you have any questions, feel free, to put it in the chat or to unmute yourself and ask the question, because we want to make sure it is that we are really coming home to you in whatever way in which it is you need answers to the questions that you have. So feel free at any point in time to unmute yourself or to put your question in the chat so that we can answer those questions. How would someone need to get started? What are the steps, step by step? Is there 8 steps? Is there 10 steps, 20 steps towards starting your online business? What are the basic steps towards starting?
The steps to starting an online business would really vary based on the person and where they're at. For instance, some persons may be very structured and in their thinking and their planners, and the process that person goes through might be very different to someone else who is already dibbling and dabbling in it online, and what they want to do is either formalize or expand what they have going on. So rather than a step-by-step, as in 2 must come after 1, what I think I would do is I would share some basic things that no matter where you are in the process, you should remember to do. And one is that business planning that we spoke about, whether you're thinking about starting, whether you've already started on some level, the planning process is important, because as I was sharing earlier, when we talk about an online business, it's not just about being online, it's also a business. So that business planning process where you're able to identify components as it relates to your administration, your marketing, your capital, your milestones, understanding your market environment and your products, your services, how you're going to leverage, how you're going to meet your goals, your finances. These are all very important in positioning yourself to be successful, because you get to see your strengths, you get to see your weaknesses so you can build up, you get to see your opportunities so you know where there are open doors for you to take advantage, and you get to see your threats so you can understand how to create your systems to protect what you have going on. So that planning process, and I really want to encourage people, don't be afraid to reach out to a coach, whether you reach out through a private institution like Vision Work Solutions, or whether you reach out through a public institutions like maybe Netco, eTech, or one of them. It doesn't matter how you do it. Connect with a coach, get a mentor. Even for younger persons, they could reach out through YBTT. YBTT has a great mentorship program. I would have been a part of that some time ago, where you get the one-on-one support that you need. So you're not just asking random people, you're not asking your brethren down the road, you're not asking your cousin who have a business too. All that is great, but I tell you, there is nothing like having a business coach or a mentor to help guide you along the path. And so I really want to encourage persons, get yourself positioned to have that business plan. Also, when we start talking about the online business, it's very important to have your research down pat to understand what type of digital systems you need for this online business. And that would vary depending on whether you're using your personality as the leverage for your online business, whether you're selling a product, you're putting your skills out there. Because in times gone by, an online business was about trading stocks, selling a product, offering an online service. Now, an online business could be something as much as creating a YouTube channel, getting your followers up and getting those YouTube checks. An online business for a young person, a 17, 18-year old could be going on Twitch and playing games and sampling out and testing games and making money. So online business now, we had to come out of the box a little bit because I know sometimes in the Caribbean, we could be tempted to stay within this narrow frame that says, I'm going online to build a website. So instead of selling my goods in a store, I'll sell it on a website. No, online business is so much more because it simply is about offering whatever you have to your audience. And so understanding your digital systems, is your audience mainly on social media, and what types of platforms are they on? Do you need a particular type of website? What sort of features do you need on your website? Is your banking supporting your, we want to have an online system. Do you have online banking? That's a good question, right? How many people want to go into online business and either don't have a bank account or they don't have online banking? And might I encourage us to remember, even with banking, it's not just about saying, I want to go to Scotia, JMMB, FCB, Republic, but there are so many other ways to collect your money through Pioneer cards. So you can do international services and get your money transferred to your card. Or there's so many options out there. So we must educate ourselves on the digital systems. And we want to make sure as you prepare for your online business that you're very clear about what you're selling. So we don't just want to do a thing online. That's where we're going to get lost in the source. We want to be very clear, just as if you were setting up a physical business and you know what are the products you have to offer. In the same way, you need to go through that cataloging process so you know what you're offering online. And last but certainly not least, I really want to encourage persons to make sure they have their support system established. No man is an island. We need support. So whether your support is your mate, your spouse, whether your support, you have colleagues who are rallying around you, family members, friends, make sure you have a support system. Because think about it like this. If you are a mom running a business, you still have your kids to see about, you still have your spouse, you still have your home duties. That doesn't disappear because you wake up one day and decide, I'm going into business. No. If you're a dad or a man, you still have your other responsibilities. If you're a university student starting a business, you still have to figure out your study time and how to juggle that with running your business. So the support system comes into place where once you understand what it's going to take to create the flow you need to be successful, your support system holds you up. They switch out with you. They say, don't worry, I'll take the kids on this day. Don't worry, I'll get those cleaning around the yard done for you so you can go handle that. You need your support system who can say, I understand banking a little bit. Let me come and show you what I know. Whatever it is you need, build your support system so you have what you need to keep on moving forward. So even when you come across those bumps or those moments where you're not clear, it's easy to move forward because you have the support that you need.
Great, great. Chrissy, a question on the,
Sorry?
is there a question in the chat there?
Yes, we have one question so far, and this question comes from Mr. Roland Anthony. His question is, Hi, good evening. I have been working in the security industry for the past 29 years. A friend of mine has a security company and wants me to come on board as a director. He also wants to promote the company fully next year. How can we promote the company online?
So one of the first things that come to my mind, and if you know the answer to this question, you could just type it in or unmute yourself, is there a marketing plan? If your friend has a security company, I'm wondering, does your friend have a business plan? And by extension, does your friend have a marketing plan? Because once you get into understanding whether your friend has a marketing plan, it allows you to understand what are the resources and the parameters that have been established for this. So is that something you can indicate, whether there's a marketing plan already established for the security company, or is it that you're starting off afresh?
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Anthony.
Yes. What happened is that because of my experience and my qualifications, now he saw my qualifications on Facebook, and I didn't know I didn't know the guy at all, just saw my qualifications.
Right.
And we started to chat, and he saw that I was an asset to the company. Or he wanted me to be an asset to the company. So I'm really new to business and stuff. As I say, I now started my qualification. I just recently got my diploma in security administration management.
Congratulations.
Looking to go forward to do my degree once work permits the time. So I think marketing is something we really need, because he asked me if I could do it, but I haven't reached here yet. What I'm doing little courses where I can reach, which part I can reach here. Right, I did some supervisory management. I'm supposed to start a project management course in October. So I'm building myself to reach here, and so I think that is why the main thing, we have to get like somebody who can, help us with that marketing part of it to go forward.
Sure. Okay. So one non-marketing comment to make, and then the marketing comment, right? The non-marketing comment I would make is that one of the things I would encourage is to make sure your agreement or your MOU is well defined, because in order for you to understand very clearly your role in supporting the security company, you need to have that memorandum of understanding or service agreement, whatever it's called in your case, well defined, so you understand your exact role and responsibilities as someone coming on board as a director with a specific function of marketing. Having said that, I really want to encourage you to remember that marketing is an integrative experience. So while a lot of times when we think of marketing, we in modern COVID recovery times especially, we tend to think about social media marketing at the forefront. I really want to encourage you to remember that marketing is much more than just social media marketing. It's an integrative experience where you want to, for your security, combine traditional promotions with digital promotions, because both of them hand in hand bring effective marketing to this company. It's not just about saying, I want to market online. So that's point number 2 I want to encourage you to remember. However, because your question was about online marketing, allow me to say you want to consider online marketing from the perspective of, you have free opportunities, you have paid opportunities, and you have sponsored opportunities. When we talk about free opportunities, we're talking about things like, for instance, something as simple as using Google My Business. The average person goes to Google when they have to do their search for a particular service. So without having to pay an additional amount of money, when you set up your business location on Google, Google allows you to set up a free business page that allows you to post notifications, updates, offers, and pictures, anything you could think about. Google allows you to post to promote your business. So what begins to happen is when people search for you, because you're building up your information on the Google platform itself, it makes it easy to find you, and it causes your search to come up a bit higher than if you weren't posting anything in Google at all. So that's one of the options that you could put. That is not a social media option per se, but it's an option to help with your search and your rankings and your ratings. Another thing you could consider for your social media, for your security company, of course, is social media. But when you think of social media, I want you to think of who is your audience. Are you, and what exactly is it you're trying to market? Is it that you're trying to market to get new clients on board? Is it that you have an educational program that you're trying to put forward? Is there some sort of a public education campaign you want to do? Because depending on what you want to achieve through your marketing, it will tell you which platforms you want to set up, whether Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or otherwise. And this is where your marketing plan comes into play. You need to have your marketing plan. If you don't have one yet, it needs to be developed. So once you get that done, it means that you're going to know where to go to post what. It's not just about, say, set up a Facebook page, let me start to post. No, because you're going to have a lot of posts, but who looking at it? And even if you have a lot of people looking at your posts, does it mean that the people who you want to see your post are seeing your post depending on where you choose to go? So that is another important point of consideration when you begin thinking about social media marketing and support. Another thing you want to think about for online promotions is getting your business registered with online sites, whether it's specific to security as a niche where you get the business listed as a security company in Trinidad and Tobago or the Caribbean. There are lots of free sites out there. You could research them. You can look that up, make sure it's posted so when people are searching through options, they could find you. And last but not least, you want to pull back and look at other digital options that is not social media based. Like, what's your email marketing plan? What is your mobile marketing plan? So there are many options outside of Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram that as a company, you need to consider both as social media marketing, broad digital marketing, and keep in mind my encouragement. You need an integrative marketing plan to ensure that you're not just focused on one niche. When, think about it this way, the average person interacts with information at least 7 to 8 times before they start to consider whatever you're offering as an option. Think about that. And I have found in other research that I did, at least 3 of those times need to be on 3 completely separate platforms. So what it means is that you can't just say, you're not saying this, I'm speaking generally. You want to just be on social media, or you just want to post a website and share it. No, you need an integrative plan. So you're reaching your audiences based on their need, providing the information that is required so that you could capture the audience in the way that you want them captured. Does this help you, Mr. Anthony?
Yes, it does. Very, very much it does.
Okay.
And I was even thinking too, like I do all the proposals for the company, like to get clients and stuff. So thing is, I always wanted to be a teacher. So I was thinking like maybe being a consultant or even going to training, like basic security training. It's a company that out there that don't have security officers that are trained in the proper procedures of basic security, like pocket diary, post diary, patrols, these things. Now, I could do these things. So I was even thinking to start from there. Like when I finish my degree, to start teaching that and plus teaching precept and maybe do my own thing one side.
Right. So let me encourage you. That falls under the business plan for you, because notice, I noticed you said I plan to, you didn't say security company plan to, So maybe you're thinking about it in both ways. So keep in mind there's a difference between marketing plan and business plan. Let's never confuse them. So even though your business plan may have some elements of marketing, it is not a marketing plan. So you want to make sure you're getting your documentation done right. And if it is you need to connect to find out how maybe you could outsource some of those services, my number is on the screen behind me. You could feel free to get in touch with me, or even Mr. Butcher, if he has other resources that are available. Reach out. Don't be afraid to get help, so that sometimes you get things for free, sometimes you pay for it, but at the end of the day, it's all an investment of time and resources to get to the next level of where you want to go.
Yes. You see, it is that we want to make sure it is, you get the resources needed.
Yeah.
So once moving it to the next level. I know we have to wrap up, but it is that really we have been getting a lot of information from you, Alina. We appreciate the information that you have shared. Hoping that then you really got the important. As Alina said, you can reach out to her at the number in the back of her. Also, we are starting a community that help individuals feel more comfortable towards asking questions, because the more you associate with individuals, the more you feel comfortable with them and be with as as needed to get the answers that you're looking for. So at this time, I just want Chrissy to just give us a little bit of information as to the community that we are starting.
Okay, so guys, before I get into the community, I just want to let you be aware of some of the other ways that you can engage with us. You can email us at lbglobalsolutions, sorry for you, at gmail.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, as well as you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now the links for the YouTube channel as well as the community is in the chat, sorry, so you can copy it and save it so that you could be able to engage with us or ask any questions that you may have, or also be notified of all our upcoming programs. As Lashley mentioned, we have recently launched our LB Global Solution Wealth Trendsetters Community Facebook group. Now, this is a group that was developed as a platform for networking and for providing tools and support that you would need to achieve financial wellness and a peace of mind. This is the powerhouse of what we do here at LB Global Solution, and it promises to bring so many benefits for you, as our wealth building program has a number of activities and content to help you achieve financial freedom. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to join our community. The link, as I said, is up on the chat so that you can copy it and you can go onto the group and find out what it is about. There's a whole script on the description of the group and everything so that you could see if you fit within it and if it's something that you would like to be a part of. So let's start building and working on generating wealth together. Back to you, Lashley.
Okay, thank you very much, Christy. So yes, it is at LB Global Solutions. We're all about networking. We're about really and truly providing information that will help you to take you to the next level. Not only yourself, but it is that you will be able to share with others, share with your family, share with your friends, share with your loved ones, because it is in gathering those individuals together that you are able to find and muster the strength to do what you have to do, whether it is that you like it or many a times. It is that we are not in that environment that pushes us towards accomplishing our goals. And all you need to do is just move from where you are and find a group of people who share your ideas, share what it is that your goals. Like that itself can help you towards achieving what you want in life. So we are creating this community so that you can feel comfortable, you can be around us, you can be with others who would help you achieve the level of success that you're looking for. As we seek to wrap up, Alina, just want to give, what would you say is the real reason why someone should get into an online business?
Freedom, I would say two things: freedom and access. When I talk about freedom, I speak of it from the perspective that entrepreneurship brings freedom to achieve goals in a way that sometimes the traditional 8 to 4 does not, because it is a business. And I would say access, because with doing online business, going digital, we open up ourselves to a global world. And we remove so many barriers of saying, I must do this because I live in Trinidad, I live in Tobago, and these are the opportunities. And now by doing an online business, we get to serve our local domestic community, but I also get to say, hey, there's an opportunity in Australia and I'm qualified for it. I'm going to take advantage. And so between freedom and access, online business provides a great way for us to achieve our goals, fulfill the vision and passion that we have burning on the inside, and earn the type of money we want to without restrictions that are associated with a traditional job and or a traditional brick and mortar business.
I just want to jump in here before Alina leaves. Alina, one thing you had mentioned earlier is a simple structure as a YouTube channel you could have as a business, you could set up as an online business. Something like a YouTube channel, is it necessary to get it registered?
It depends on your long-term goals. For the average person, it might seem as unnecessary to get it registered, but then I want you to take a minute and pull back and think, if you make YouTube your main source of income, and then you get up one day and say, I want to go to the bank or the credit union to get a loan, do this, that. What is the backing you're going to have to support and say, I have a business, this is why you should allow me to access these services? So being registered with Ministry of Legal Affairs opens up the opportunity to access governmental services and support, to access a lot of financial and related support that require that business registration, require that demonstration of longevity. So ultimately, I do encourage people to get their businesses registered so it doesn't prevent them from accessing services that are typically not made available when you don't have proof that you do have a business running. So I do encourage people to get registered.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So in maybe 30 seconds to 1 minute, what is your closing words? And if it within that 30 seconds to 1 minute, what would be the one thing that you would want individuals or viewers to take away from this program today as it relates to starting their business online?
When considering starting or expanding your online business, respect that it is a business. And as you do that, remain open to abandoning fear and embracing creativity so that you can maximize opportunities that come to you.
So thank you very much, Alina Lewis from Launchpad.
Thank you for having me.
Company, right? We really appreciate you taking time off with our viewers. And so it is our viewers have learned a lot. I have certainly learned a lot, right? I certainly would put some of the things that you have shared in practice. Sure that this program is really reaching individuals, not just here in Trinidad and Tobago, but around the world, because even if it is that you're in Singapore, you're in China, you're in America, it is that there are certain things that we all share in common.
That's right.
And it is that in helping ourselves, we help others. So thank you very much again, Alina, for your words of wisdom.
Thank you.
All our viewers, stay tuned and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, visit our Facebook page, join the community, because we have a lot in store and we want to make sure it is that you're not left behind. So thank you very much. Brings us to the end of our program.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.